Disney cast members have to put up with a lot of garbage sometimes. Some of it from the guests, some of it comes from above. So I was talking with a few cast member friends of mine the other day, and we were talking about the way things have changed and some of the stuff they have to put up with. And even when I was there, cast members had to put up with a lot of stuff from guests. And really, it wasn't that much thinking about it. You would see it occasionally and it would stand out because it was unusual. And you would have the typical things like the people who tried to make a pass at a princess. It happened more often than it should have, definitely. Look, dude, you're close to my age. Princess has no interest in your phone number, your hotel room key, and keep your hands to yourself. Princess is probably married, okay? Or you'd have people that would complain about Make-A-Wish skipping the line. Why do they get front of the line access? How come we can't get it? Alright, dude, I'll be happy to give you the same skip the line privilege they do. Which of your family members are we going to give a life-threatening illness to, and all the ramifications thereof? You could usually, when somebody started to get dumb this way, you could politely, semi-sarcastically say something, put them in their place, and that would often kind of end the problem. Unfortunately, it has gotten worse. It seems like ever since COVID and with certain other things, it's become cool or acceptable to be unacceptable and rude and to mistreat people. And the poor cast members at Disney as well as other parks really get the brunt of this. I've seen people just getting on their cases for dumb little stuff that they wouldn't have complained about before.
What do you mean I don't get a magic moment? I'm the guest. I should get any magic moment I want.
Well, it wouldn't make it very magical, would it? And just demanding things that they shouldn't be getting at all. I actually saw a guest last trip, time before, that was upset because they couldn't go backstage. You got no business backstage there, buddy. But it's caused problems for them because you've got these rude guests, and any of us, we get people in our face all the time just being rude, and at some point you're going to respond in kind. So yes, there's stories out there of ruder cast members, and a good chunk of it is because you've got guests now that ignore them or taunt them or just are a pain in the neck. Our last trip is a great example. It used to be if you picked out a spot for the fireworks and you waited, you might get a little crowded in on, but you were going to be okay with your spot. And if you looked at my video of my last trip to Magic Kingdom, I had people cut in front of me, even though there wasn't that much room. So I ended up with this wall in front of me I couldn't see over. And then I had this guy that thought he suddenly became part of my family because he's just like all cozy with his arm literally hitting my face constantly because he's right up against me. Dude, you're not my type. Back off. Just constant stuff like this where there is no longer a respect for other people in too many cases. And the cast members have to deal with that. But then they also have to deal with other problems that we didn't have. Their training has been cut way back. I mentioned in my Ways that PhotoPass has changed that our training went from 2 weeks down to like 3 days. And so much that they're not getting. But it's not just PhotoPass. It's everywhere. Traditions was a full day thing. And I think I've been told it's like 3 or 4 hours now. And even I was on a reduced version of Traditions. There was actually a point in time where Traditions was 2 or 3 days. But it means that they're not getting the old Disney culture ingrained in them. And so it's not important. Things like the show and the appearance and courtesy. Instead, it seems like there's been an overemphasis on other things, and those have slid. And I've even seen other ways that standards have slid. I've seen cast members with their cell phones out in the park while working. If we pulled our phone out while we were working, boom! Instant termination. Gone. I know dress codes have changed and eased up, and there's a lot of ways that's good. But there were other ways that I saw when we were there where appearance codes had slid so much that what they were wearing was sloppy and ugly. And you're just kind of going, all right, so that comes from management. They're not getting the support from management they need. Management, in fact, is actually telling them to not do things that we were told to do. Just simple things like when we were at Disneyland and my friend that was with me ripped his shorts getting off Space Mountain, and we're trying to get him taken care of. When I worked at Disney, if you ripped your clothing coming off a ride or it got messed up somehow, it was, we will find a replacement. We're going to take care of you. Don't worry. And they would get replacement clothing for you and take care of you. Somehow, someway. They were not going to let this ruin your day. He's got it right at his pocket. It's not a great place to be ripped. And management at guest services and in merch both told him, well, Target's down the road. Really? Your standards have slid so low that you would tell a guest to leave? And this isn't even necessarily the cast members' fault. This is management above them telling them, well, there's too many people trying to take advantage, so don't give it to anybody, even if they need it and deserve it. There's a problem there. They're not getting the support they need from upper management either. They're not getting the training, and then they're being told to slack off on services that Disney has been famous for doing. Just simple taking care of the guests. And so then when you get a guest that does need something, this cast member has been dealing with rude guests and just rotten behavior all day, and then they don't have the training, and then they don't have management telling them how to actually deal with problem resolution, and so they give this lousy stuff. And it's so frustrating having been in their shoes and knowing what our expectations were of us and from the guests and what we could do, and seeing that they don't have that foundation. And it makes me very happy I'm not a cast member right now, because I would quit. They need help. They need better management. They need management that isn't focused on pinching pennies and cutting services and squeezing every nickel and dime they can out of the guests. They need management that remembers Walt's old deal, that if you take care of the guests and provide an incredible experience for them, standards above everybody else, you're not going to have to worry about the money, because the money will come in because they keep coming back and they keep spending more money, because there's this crazy thing that happens that when a business treats somebody nice and goes above and beyond, that person spends more money. When I have a business that does something unexpected for me and makes me happy, I find ways to support that business. That's what it used to be with Disney. But instead, they're like, our crowds have been ridiculously big. Let's squeeze every cent out of them. Who cares? It's almost like the Paul Pressler era of Disneyland corporate-wide now. And it's sad, because Paul Pressler ran Disneyland into the ground, and it went through a period after him of just trying to rebuild, and it was not good. But this is what they're doing to all the parks now, company-wide, as they squeeze it out. And the poor cast members are caught in the middle, between the guests and the management, lack of training, lack of support. Be kind to your cast members. Be nice to them. Give them a kind word. If you need something, ask nicely. If they give directions, listen to them. I just feel so bad for so many of them. Just watching and just going, when I was there, it was magical. And there's so many ways now it's not. It's still a neat place to work, but I was reading a quote earlier today that a couple years old, but the cast members said, we get 1 or 2 positive interactions a day, and that's what keeps us going. 1 or 2 a day? I have one or two negative ones a day. How it's changed. Be kind to cast members. They need it. Give them some support, give them some encouragement, and realize that they're in a lousy job right now compared to what it used to be. Cast members, I love you. I support you. I feel bad for you. Have you seen similar things? I'd love to hear your stories. Share them in the comments below. What do you think? I'm sure you've probably run into a cast member. Do you think there's a reason maybe they were having a bad day? I'd love to hear what your story was, though, and what possibly was going on behind it. Share it below. Cast members, I'd love to hear your stories as well. Please share them in the comments or send them to me. You know what would be cool is if I got several cast member stories and share those. I'd love to do a share your story video at some point. Hey, there's an idea. Well, let me hear your thoughts. Drop in the comments or by email, SirWillow@gmail.com. Thank you so incredibly much to my supporters, to my patrons, who helped make a couple of these last trips I went on possible. And thank you so incredibly much for watching. God bless. Not even when I mentioned ways that folks now they're barely getting it, which means they're not getting the culture imposed or brought out to them and ingrained in them. They're not getting that old thing. Hell, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts, your comments, your suggestions, your ideas. Be sure to share them in the comments below, or you can contact me. There's information in the description that has my email address, fan pages, information about merchandise, and so much more. So be sure to check that out. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the video, and if you haven't already, hit the button right up there to subscribe. And in fact, if you did enjoy this, I've even got another video for you right here. And also about these wonderful people here, those are my YouTube members and my patrons, the ones whose financial support makes this possible. I couldn't do it without them. If you want to know more about that and the perks that come with it, well, be sure to check the description. There's a link right down there. Thank you so incredibly much. God bless.